Should I start from the very beginning?
You want to start from the very beginning?
Yeah, might as well. So just leave that video and start. You can do like
we can start it from where we left off.
No, just do it from the very beginning.
You want to start again?
Yeah.
Yalla!
Just as bad as you, just as bad as you.
Welcome back to the vlog, special edition of Amir's University. We're rolling into phase 2. So last video, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. I cover basically how to start. Intro to business, what to do and how to do it. Now this video I'm going to cover, so you figured out the mirror moment, you figured out how to garnish a little bit of experience, where you want to go into. Now you want to make the decision, do I want to go into franchising or do I want to go into traditional mom and pop locations? What do you want to do? So here I have a list. I haven't written down notes in forever. If you're looking at my Ramones t-shirt, thank you, big fan. Not really, had to Google who they were. Pet Cemetery, look it up. But I wrote down some notes about giving you some pros and cons about both. So we're gonna go right into it. The first one, boom, brand awareness. When you have brand awareness, these franchises, McDonald's, Subway, Dunkin' Donuts, Cinnabon, Cold Stone, these huge companies, they build this brand awareness. Basically, it just means that when you go to the mall or you go to a restaurant, you know exactly what you're about to buy, what your dollar is going to purchase, whether it be that Big Mac with the special sauce, or you're gonna get the Cinnabon with the glaze. You know, when you walk into a traditional mom and pop location, it's a little bit of a guessing game. You're with your friends, hey, let's go try this new pizza shop. You know, it's not Domino's or DiGiorno's or Pizza Hut or in Egypt, Pizza Queen. You don't know. So again, when you own a mom and pop location, you haven't built up those decades of brand awareness like the top brands. Again, you could be in your hometown for 60 years and have built up that clientele, but again, when tourists come to visit, it's iffy. So that could be a negative connotation for mom and pop locations. If we're moving on to the next one, is control and autonomy. Control and autonomy. When you buy a franchise, you're not buying the franchise. You understand? So when you have a mom and pop location, you can design the store's look, layout, the color scheme, what recipes you want, what machines you want to use. You can control every aspect, and that is a huge benefit of owning your own location. You can build it from the ground up how you want it, how you see fit. When you buy a franchise, you're not buying the franchise. You are buying the license to use the franchise products and name. I own the Dunkin'. I own the building. I own all the equipment inside, but I don't own the name. I have borrowed it. I have bought the license for 20 years. But after 20 years, I can either renew or I am no longer allowed to sell Dunkin' Donuts products at my location. So again, you're buying the name and the operating system. Rolling into phase 3 is the operating system. When you have a mom and pop traditional location, you build a pizzeria, you have to create all the operating systems, from the hiring guide to the training style, to the recipes, to the closing schedules, to manager interact. You have to do everything yourself. You have to build up the entire system, how to order online. It's a lot of work, you know, and a lot of people, if you're creative and innovative and have that drive, that should be your way to go about it. If you really have a vision of a product or a storefront or a business you want to see through, mom and pop traditional is your way to go about it, because again, you're going to take that vision and bring it to life. Where the operating system in a franchise is what you're buying from the franchise. The reason I'm investing in a franchise is to purchase the operating system. So I purchased the company, but then they give me the materials I need to use, the operating system, the POS system, the software on the POS system, training styles, the recipes, the cook times. That sounds super easy and it may seem like the better way to go about it, but for some reason, even though they give you an entire handbook of exactly how to do it and then teach you how to do it, it's extremely difficult to do on minimal experience. But once you do and you truck it out and you get through it, major benefits the outcome. If we're gonna go to now equipment and supplies, when you own your own traditional location, you have to go then to suppliers and vendors to find equipment and supplies. Currently, I'm doing that through Landwear. Cafe Landwear is the third franchise I operate now. So they are a franchise, but they're primarily overseas, and there's only one in the US, so they haven't built up a huge numbers in the US. There's only 2 locations here. So we don't have great relationships with vendors or suppliers. So I am currently in Los Angeles now contacting vendors, suppliers, selecting equipment. Again, so it's almost, I'm treating it as a traditional location. Something like Dunkin', on the Dunkin' Donuts side, they give me an equipment package. So they give me a list of everything I need to order for the store. And it has everything top to bottom to make it a turnkey restaurant. And I have a supplier called the DCP, which basically I can order all my food and supplies. I don't need to go anywhere else. It's super, super simple and cookie cutter. Again, these videos will get more and more in depth. These are just very outlined examples to kind of get everybody warmed up and then acclimated to what the conversations coming in the future. If we're talking about important now, we're gonna talk about ROI. ROI stands for return on investment. Literally the conversation everybody wants to know about. If I spend $200,000, how long until I get my money back? Return on investment, right? When you have a mom and pop traditional location, I open up Amir's Burgers. I open up in a populated area. Say I do a great job at a location. I open it up, new menu, grand opening. I have a phenomenal grand opening. Newspaper, TV, whatever comes to visit. It's gonna take time for me to build up a huge clientele list or a client base of customers that come back. But the return on investment will be slightly slower, if not moderately slower, than if I were to open up a Johnny Rockets. So I open up a Johnny Rockets. America knows what Johnny Rockets is. They're familiar with the brand. They're familiar with the burgers and food. My money will return far faster on a franchise location that's super popular and well-liked in that specific demographic. Again, it's about selecting the right franchise, the right location. There's so many outliers you have to talk about, but in the general knowledge of it, the franchise, people feel way more reassured and will feel more comfortable going to it. The last thing on this first episode is gonna be financing. You wanna get money from the bank. If you own a mom and pop location, it has no name, you have no client base, and you do not know if it's going to work. I'm the bank looks at it like, okay, this guy wants to open up a restaurant, he or she wants to open up a business, and we don't know if we're gonna get our money back. We don't know if they're going to succeed. There is no previous history to look at. When you own a franchise, the bank feels a little bit more reassured, okay, this person is opening up a Subway. There's 48,000 of these franchises all over the world. We feel more comfortable and a little bit reassured slightly that this person and that concept will succeed because so many succeeded. Getting financing, this depends on a million outliers, credit, W-2s, your income, your work experience, your business. Again, but in the general knowledge, the banks will favor a franchise a little bit more than a mom and pop location. Ultimately, it all depends up to you. What kind of operator you are, what kind of business plan you've set up, and how well you have curated the location. And again, we will cover all of that. But just to get you guys' feet wet and understand some of these topics and conversations and the minor differences between mom and pop traditional versus franchising to kind of get us acclimated to that type of conversation. This is part one. If you enjoy it or you're starting to grasp some knowledge and you have some questions, please drop them in the comments. Please like, subscribe. If you're feeling bold and savvy, hit the alert button. I'm gonna try and pump out as much knowledge of this university as possible. Thank you for this week. Tune in next week.
Yalla!
Yalla. Last video we covered, I forgot what we covered last video.
Can you look at
Yeah! Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Yalla!
Yalla.